Lately, something deep inside you has started to stir. It's not anxiety, and it's not restlessness, it's power. You can feel it in your chest, in your spirit, in the way your mind refuses to stay still. There's an inner fire that refuses to go out, no matter how exhausted you are. You wake up with a sense that something bigger is calling you, something beyond the ordinary rhythm of your days. It's as if a part of you that was asleep for years has suddenly opened its eyes. This is the moment God begins activating what He placed within you long ago. The energy you feel isn't chaos, it's divine alignment. When your purpose starts to awaken, your entire being reacts. You begin to feel waves of emotion, bursts of inspiration, and moments of deep silence where you sense something sacred moving through you. It can feel overwhelming because the old version of you wasn't built to carry this new frequency. The energy of your soul is expanding to hold what's coming next. You might find yourself drawn to solitude or to nature without knowing why. That's your spirit trying to stabilize the power flowing through you. It's not weakness, it's transformation. The intensity you feel is a sign that you are stepping into a new level of spiritual awareness. When God breathes power into your spirit, everything inside you adjusts. The old thoughts begin to fade, the fears lose their grip, and a sense of quiet confidence begins to take root. You are not losing control, you are gaining it. You are learning how to walk in the power that was always yours, but now it's waking up. You've probably noticed that the things and people that once fit perfectly in your life now feel out of place. Conversations that used to excite you now feel empty. Environments that used to inspire you now drain you. You find yourself craving something deeper: truth, peace, purpose. That is not a coincidence. It's a spiritual sign that your soul has outgrown what once kept you comfortable. When God begins to elevate you, He removes the walls that once made you feel safe. He doesn't do it to punish you, but to prepare you. The old version of you could survive in those places, but the new version of you is meant to lead, to build, to influence, to heal. You cannot expand in an environment built for your past self. So God allows discomfort to do what comfort never could: push you into purpose. This transition often feels lonely because not everyone can go where you're going. Some people won't understand your change. They'll call it pride, distance, or even rebellion. But in truth, you're simply being separated for greater use. Every chosen one experiences this season, a divine pulling away that feels painful, but leads to clarity. You may feel like you've lost interest in things you once loved, but what's really happening is that your soul is making room for the new. You're being positioned for environments that match your new frequency, where your power will be respected and your purpose will be fulfilled. Don't resist this process. The discomfort you feel is not rejection, it's realignment. It's God saying, "You can't stay where you are because what I've placed in you has outgrown this space." One of the most striking changes that happen when your spiritual power activates is a sudden clarity in how you see the world. You begin to see beyond appearances, beyond smiles, beyond words. It's as if the veil has been lifted. You can feel people's energy before they even speak. You can sense when someone's intentions are pure and when they're not. It's not judgment, it's discernment. This new level of awareness can be both empowering and isolating. Empowering because you no longer fall into traps you used to. You stop chasing validation, stop believing in false promises, and stop tolerating what drains you. But it can also feel lonely, because you start realizing how many things around you were never as genuine as you thought. The truth, however painful, sets you free. Discernment is a divine gift given to those who are called to lead. It's not about suspicion, it's about vision. You're being trained to navigate spiritual territories with wisdom. God sharpens your perception so that no deception can derail your purpose. You begin to recognize patterns in people and situations that others overlook. You see how every test, every betrayal, every closed door was a setup for your awakening. As this clarity grows, you start walking differently. You no longer argue with small minds or chase temporary things. You understand that not everything deserves your reaction. You realize that peace is your protection. This is what divine sight feels like. You begin to view everything through the lens of purpose. You don't just see what's happening, you understand why it's happening. This new vision is a sign that your spiritual power is alive and active. You are no longer moving in the dark. You are being guided by divine light. And with that light, you cannot be deceived. You have become the storm that clears the fog. When divine power begins to awaken within a chosen one, the atmosphere around them starts to change. You may notice an increase in strange disruptions, arguments that appear from nowhere, moments of exhaustion that make no sense, unexpected setbacks that test your patience. This is not coincidence, it's resistance. The spiritual world recognizes your rising energy long before the physical world does. Darkness can sense the movement of light, and it reacts. Every chosen one experiences this storm before elevation. The moment you start walking into divine alignment, you disrupt the systems that were built to contain you. You might lose friends, face misunderstanding, or even feel an invisible heaviness pressing against your spirit. That's because you are no longer living under the same frequency. You are climbing higher, and every higher level brings a new level of resistance. But this resistance is not a sign of failure, it's confirmation. It means you're dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You carry an energy that breaks chains, a truth that exposes lies, and a purpose that changes lives. The enemy does not attack the weak, he attacks those who carry power. The sudden chaos in your life isn't meant to destroy you, it's meant to distract you from realizing who you've become. What you must understand is that spiritual warfare often intensifies right before a breakthrough. God allows certain pressures to build your endurance. Just as muscles grow under resistance, your spirit becomes stronger through spiritual tension. Every battle you face right now is building the strength you will need to walk fully in your calling. When you feel this resistance, don't retreat, stand firm. Pray even when you don't feel like it. Speak light into dark places. Maintain peace when everything tries to provoke you. The greatest proof of your divine maturity is your ability to stay grounded while the storm rages. Once you learn to do that, no attack can shake your foundation. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. The fire around you is not there to burn you. It's there to reveal that your power cannot be destroyed. When your spiritual power awakens, the universe begins to rearrange itself to support your destiny. People start entering your life with purpose, mentors, allies, and even strangers who seem to appear at the exact right time. Doors begin to open that you didn't even knock on. You might find yourself in conversations that shift your thinking, environments that inspire your growth, or partnerships that multiply your potential. These are not coincidences. They are divine alignments, orchestrated by God. For a long time, you may have felt alone, like no one understood your vision or your calling. But now, because your energy has shifted, you are being drawn toward those who carry the same spiritual frequency. You are attracting those who match your growth, not your wounds. God is placing you in circles that will challenge you, stretch you, and prepare you for the next season of your purpose. However, divine connections do not always come in the way you expect. Sometimes they enter your life through conflict, challenge, or even rejection. A closed door can be just as divine as an open one. God removes people who would sabotage your growth before He introduces those who will nurture it. That's why this phase can feel confusing. You're being reconnected and disconnected simultaneously. But when you begin to walk in your divine power, timing becomes your greatest ally. Opportunities that once felt delayed suddenly arrive with perfect precision. What used to feel impossible now unfolds naturally. You begin to realize that the right people were never late, you were simply being prepared to meet them. Every delay was divine protection. This is how you know your power is aligning with destiny. You stop chasing and start attracting. You don't force connections anymore, they find you. You don't beg for recognition, your light speaks for itself. You understand that what is meant for you carries your name in the spirit, and when you're ready, it will appear effortlessly. This is not luck, it's divine order. God is moving people, places, and events into position to fulfill His promise over your life. So when you notice that the right doors are opening and the right people are showing up, don't doubt it. You prayed for this, you worked for this, you were prepared for this, and now heaven is responding. These divine alignments are proof that your power is not just awakening, it's beginning to manifest. One of the most profound signs that your divine power has been activated is the transformation in your voice. The same words you once spoke casually now carry impact. People begin to pause when you speak. Your words linger in their hearts, not because of eloquence, but because of the anointing that flows through them. When God breathes power into a person, even their silence becomes influential. You may notice that when you speak truth, things shift, conversations change, atmospheres become lighter, and people feel inspired or convicted. This is because your voice has become a vessel of divine energy. You are not just speaking from intellect, you are speaking from alignment with God's Spirit. Every word you release carries purpose and direction, but this power also comes with responsibility. When your words carry spiritual authority, you must choose them wisely. You can build or break with a single sentence. This is why many chosen ones experience seasons of silence before their elevation. God teaches them the weight of language. He disciplines their tongue so that when they speak, it's not emotion but revelation that flows. Your words now operate as spiritual instruments. They can open doors, break curses, and release healing. When you declare something with faith, the universe responds. This is not magic, it's divine law. Life and death truly exist in the power of the tongue, and when your voice aligns with heaven's will, it becomes unstoppable. This is why many people around you will start seeking your advice or comfort. They are drawn to the energy in your speech because your words don't just inform, they transform. You've become a channel through which truth flows effortlessly. Every prayer you utter, every affirmation you speak, every truth you proclaim, these are not just sounds. They are commands written into the spiritual fabric of reality. As your power grows, you'll notice how your communication changes. You won't argue to prove a point. You'll simply speak truth, and the truth will reveal itself. You won't try to convince. You'll simply state what's real, and others will feel it. This quiet authority is not arrogance, it's divine confidence. It comes from knowing that your voice is an extension of something higher. So, guard your words, speak life, declare peace, release hope. Because when your spiritual power awakens, your mouth becomes a tool of creation. What you speak manifests. What you pray materializes. And what you bless multiplies. This is the mark of a true chosen one, someone whose voice echoes beyond time, carrying the sound of divine purpose. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when something shifts so deeply within that it changes everything. The fear that used to control you loses its grip. The opinions that used to break you no longer matter. The doubts that once silenced your spirit begin to fade like shadows at sunrise. You reach a place where you no longer question your worth, your path, or your identity. You finally remember who you are, and it changes the way you move through the world. This awakening doesn't happen overnight. It's born from everything you've survived. The betrayals, the heartbreaks, the loneliness, the confusion, all of it was training. Every wound was shaping you, carving depth into your spirit, preparing you for this exact season. For years, you may have felt like you were walking through darkness with no direction, wondering why life seemed harder for you than for others. But now, as the fog lifts, you begin to see the truth. God was not punishing you, He was refining you. When divine identity awakens, it brings a power that cannot be explained, only felt. You stop chasing validation because you realize that what's inside you was never meant to be approved by people. It was designed and stamped by heaven. You start walking differently. There's a calm strength in your steps, a peace that confuses those who used to see you break easily. You no longer react out of fear, you respond from wisdom. You no longer seek revenge, you rise in grace. You no longer beg for doors to open, you build your own and walk through them confidently. This is what true spiritual power feels like, not arrogance, but alignment. You understand that you are not separate from divine energy, you are an expression of it. You were never meant to blend in, because your very presence shifts the atmosphere. You begin to feel the difference between being liked and being called. The approval of others loses its value compared to the inner approval of God. You finally grasp that you were chosen long before anyone ever recognized you. You also begin to see your past differently. What once felt like rejection now looks like protection. The people who left you only cleared the path for those who truly align with your destiny. The moments that broke you now appear as the exact points where your power was born. The pain didn't destroy you, it revealed you. You stop carrying regret because you realize everything served its purpose. Every detour led you exactly where you needed to be. When you reach this level of awareness, your spirit becomes unshakable. Problems still come, but they no longer define you. You may stumble, but you no longer stay down. You recognize that failure is not the opposite of power. It's a part of the process that strengthens it. You understand that storms don't come to destroy you. They come to show you what cannot be moved. You stop trying to control everything and instead move with divine flow. You trust timing because you finally trust the one guiding it. This new confidence is not loud. It's quiet, steady, and undeniable. You walk into rooms with a sense of purpose that others can feel. People may not understand why they respect you, but they do. They sense the authority that comes from divine backing. You carry peace that cannot be faked, presence that cannot be ignored, and light that cannot be dimmed. You no longer need to prove your worth, because your very existence is proof of divine design. But this realization doesn't just change how you see yourself, it changes how you see others. You begin to move with compassion instead of judgment. You understand that not everyone is awake yet. Some people are still trapped in the same illusions you once believed in. Instead of anger, you feel empathy. You no longer waste energy fighting small battles. You focus on fulfilling your mission. You become a living example of what transformation looks like. A reminder that faith, resilience, and divine timing always win. When you operate from this level of awareness, you begin to attract life differently. The things you once chased begin to chase you. Peace becomes your default state. Blessings flow naturally because your energy is clean, your heart is open, and your focus is clear. You no longer pray out of desperation. You pray from gratitude. You no longer beg for signs. You recognize them everywhere. Life begins to feel synchronized because your soul is finally aligned with the will of God. This is the moment when you realize that being unstoppable doesn't mean you never fall. It means you never stay down. It means every time something tries to break you, you rise stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. You've learned that divine power is not loud or dramatic, it's consistent. It's the quiet voice inside you that says, "Keep going," even when everything tells you to quit. The world around you may not fully understand this version of you. They'll notice the difference but won't know what changed. They'll sense your strength but won't understand that it came from surrender, not control. You no longer need to explain yourself, because those who are meant to walk with you will feel your truth without needing words. At this stage, you stop fearing loss because you realize you cannot lose what's meant for you. You stop fearing the future because you know it's already written. You stop fearing failure because you've seen how every fall brought you closer to your purpose. You are finally free, free from the expectations of others, free from the shadows of your past, free from the illusion of limitation. This is what it means to walk in divine identity. You understand that your power doesn't come from the world, it comes from the Creator. It's not something you earn, it's something you remember. You were never ordinary, you were chosen to be different. The storms you faced were the fires that forged your strength. The loneliness you endured was the silence that allowed you to hear God clearly. And the waiting you hated was the process that shaped your wisdom. Now, as you stand in this new chapter, you finally see yourself the way heaven always has, capable, powerful, and destined. You no longer question if you're ready. You understand that you already are. You were being prepared all along. So you move forward not as the version of you that was wounded, but as the version that is whole. You walk with clarity, purpose, and authority. You know who you are. You know what you carry. And you understand that nothing can stop a soul that walks in alignment with divine will. That's why you feel unstoppable, because you finally know that you were never meant to fight for your power. You were meant to embody it. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out. You were never meant to follow. You were chosen to lead. This is your moment, your confirmation, and your awakening. You are not becoming powerful, you are remembering that you always were. And now, that power is ready to shake the earth. Chosen one. You've reached the turning point. You've walked through the fire, survived the storms, and faced battles that no one even knows about. But through it all, you never gave up. You never lost your light. And now, God says, it's time. This is not the end of your struggle, it's the beginning of your reign. Every wound became wisdom, every delay became direction, every loss became preparation. You were never being buried, you were being planted. And now, the seed of power that was hidden inside you is breaking through the surface. You don't need to chase approval anymore. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The anointing on your life speaks louder than any doubt ever could. You've become everything you were meant to be: strong, fearless, and unstoppable. The world will feel your presence, not because you demand attention, but because your light is impossible to ignore. So stand tall, walk boldly. The power within you is not meant to stay silent any longer. Heaven is backing you, and nothing on this earth can stand in your way. Remember this, you are not just chosen, you are appointed. You are not just surviving, you are rising. Go forward knowing this truth. Your story will not end in defeat. Your power is not a secret anymore. The time has come for the world to see what God placed inside you from the very beginning. Your power is unstoppable, and now it's your turn to shake the earth.